So if you have a giant head like me, don't worry about it. Hello. I'm Julia, my pronouns are they, them, and I needed a reason to get out of bed this morning, so I decided to make this video going through all my skate stuff. I skated when I was little, broke my arm, and I didn't skate for a long time. In college, I got into it a little bit, and I would skate at the Church of 8 Wheels in San Francisco. There were a lot of amazing skaters there and beginners. I bought these. The brand is Bullet, it looks like. These are indoor wheels, which means they're harder, which means you can go faster on smooth surfaces. That also means that if you're outside or on a more rough surface, little pieces of debris and things will trip you up a lot easier. I actually at the time didn't know there was a difference. They were probably around 30 bucks. I will say my feet would kind of go numb when I would wear these, which I later learned is indicative of either not breaking them in yet, or they're the wrong size, or they're just not the best quality. I've actually, low-key, hit me up if you're a 6.5, 7-ish and you want these bad boys for free. Nothing amazing, but they roll. Rinks aren't open right now, obviously, but indoor wheels work well on basketball court surfaces, anything smooth or indoors if you have a wood floor. So when I had those, I had this helmet on for 20 bucks. I don't even know what brand this is. This was before I knew about certified helmets, which now I know, and I tell everyone who asks me about skate stuff, always make sure your helmet is certified. My understanding of what that means is that it's been crash tested for usually one large impact or multiple small impacts. Look at this. You could literally I could probably tear this apart if I wanted to. Okay, that's probably an exaggeration. Oh, maybe not though. Full disclosure, I have a giant head. This is a medium in adult size. I don't know why I thought I was a medium. I've never been an average head size, but I bought this anyway. Ended up having to rip out all of the padding except for this top one. See where the tan is? I had to rip all of that out because it just wouldn't fit on my head. But then when it would be on my head, it moves around a lot. I'd constantly be ajar. All that to say, definitely measure your head. And make sure you get a certified helmet and make sure you get the right fit. I guess that's a good time to transition to my new stuff. See here my S1 Beauty certified helmet. This is called a Mega Lifer, which means for people who have giant heads like I do. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Now I love this helmet. I feel very safe in it. It fits very snugly. Some stickers on it. My pads. I got this 6-pack. My girlfriend got it for me. As you can see, I wear the wrist guards and knee pads religiously. I just started wearing the elbow pads not too long ago. I kind of slid as if I was sliding down a water slide. And my inner elbows took the most of it. So that would have been protected by the fabric here if I had been wearing these at the time. So now I wear them. Unfortunately, something I've heard other skaters talk about a lot is true for me too, which is that I'm not the same size across my wrists, elbows, and knees. So the wrist guards are too big. If I tighten it as much as I can, it's fine, it works. I feel protected. But if you can see, the Velcro is halfway where it could go, and then in the hand, there's a lot there. You see how that can compress. I'm not bothered by it per se. I also noticed that my wrist guards will still be moist from the day before. So with that combined with wanting a slightly smaller size, I think I might just get a new pair of wrist guards. Then I can like rotate them and switch each day. So I'll show you my skates. Ba-da-da-da. These are my skates. This is my skate leash. It's just a simple Moxi one, but I do like it because before I would just tie my shoelaces together and then my skates would be really tight when I went to put them on. It takes like 5 seconds, but it's convenient and it's like comfy to just like sling over my shoulder. And then it can also hold my shoes. So I recently got some new stuff. These are my old laces, nothing wrong with them. I wouldn't have gotten new ones if I didn't get them as a gift. Thanks, Wendy. Same with my wheels. These are the originals that come on the Beach Bunnies. They're gummy outdoor wheels. They were pretty loud, I will say. They were getting pretty noisy when I was rolling around. I've had these since February. I've had these since February. I do mostly skate outside. I would say for how much that I've skated and the fact that like I would still happily continue using these, I would say they've held up. And then these are my toe stops from the original Beach Bunnies. As you can see, they're fairly ground down. You can see like the angles, like they used to be like totally round. Now they're like very no, they're so cute. This is fun. Oh, look at these. Okay, so these are my jam plugs for when I am dancing. So these screw in, replace these guys, and these are just so that you can do like toe manuals, heel toe manuals, like just like different like jam skate moves where you want to be more on your toes and lean more onto your toes than your toe stops will allow you to. I really like these. These are like, I don't know, $10 or something. The only thing is like if you don't use these things, toe caps, then you don't really need them, because the only reason I bought the jam plugs was because when I take my toe stops out, like this is all floppy and I didn't like that. These are my toe caps. These are my originals that came with the Beach Bunnies. As you can see, I've worn them well, but there's still not a single hole in these. I've sewn them back up a bit. You can see the little pink thread. That's me. I did that. The material itself is fine. I wore these to the skate park the other day and they got kind of messed up. And I knew that was gonna happen because I knew that the like clear jelly ones, they're not made for park skating. They're made for more like cruising, jam skating, that kind of thing. I just think they're so cute, so I couldn't resist asking for them for Christmas. And once I got them, I couldn't be bothered to swap them out for the skate park. Sometimes you just can't do stuff, and that's okay. I was trying to think of a hack though, where I could like put this one over it so that like I don't have to unlace it all. And then I also replaced these laces. They're periwinkle, and I got these star toe stops. And then I have my luminous wheels, which are so pretty. Oh, very important, if you get luminous wheels, you have to screw in your nuts backwards. They're wider than your average skate wheel. If you screw in the nut the normal way, the rubber ring won't catch. And you, my friend, might find yourself with your wheel falling off, like I did twice. Thanks for coming. Oh! Look at these. Look at that. Do you see that? Do you see this? It's purple. They're so dirty already. I don't know if it's the bearings or the wheels, but it is a very smooth skate, so that's pretty cool. So my Beach Bunnies I hate to even like review these because they're like so not available right now, but they will be again. For me, they had no break-in time. I've never really gotten a blister, and I'm not wearing special socks or anything, although I would like to get some. Very reliable. They're definitely heavy. You could spend a lot more money for a lighter plate, but the boot, it has a lot of support. I've always told people, you know, if you can get these, I recommend it. I got these for around $150. I actually hear the ocean, honestly. I hear the beach. If you are getting skates soon, make sure to loosen your wheels slightly. These guys, the nuts. Make sure to loosen your trucks slightly.